All right, but just looking real quick now at Edmonton and Florida, Charlie. Who we got? I went back and I listened to one of our first episodes of PHLY when we did predictions.
Mm-hmm.
I picked Edmonton to win it all.
Did you?
Even though in my bracket I picked Carolina over Edmonton in October 5th or something. I picked Edmonton over Carolina. So I at least got the Western Conference Final right. And the
well, you went with the rematch of the first final coming out of the loss season.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Except this time Edmonton comes out on top.
That's wild.
Was it Rolison doesn't blow out his knee in game one?
He got hurt right away.
Yeah.
That Edmonton team was cool, man. With Pronger and Jason Smith. Yeah. I felt like they were an aptly named team. Like the oil, they looked like they belonged on a fucking oil rig. That's what that team looked like.
Fair.
So Edmonton, Florida, who you got?
Well, are you sticking with Edmonton?
I guess so. I mean, I believe Florida is better.
I think Florida's the better team.
I thought Dallas was considerably better, and all of a sudden...
And I still think Dallas is a better team.
Oh, yeah.
Edmonton had the two best players, and this is a pet peeve of mine that has come up on Twitter, and I've railed against it. While it is undeniably true that the Oilers had absolutely the best player in the series, probably the best two players in the series, that does not mean that Dallas's stars are not stars. I got into a debate with someone last night who's like, well, Dallas doesn't have a superstar. It's like they have one of the 5 best defensemen in hockey and a 24-year-old who has a 109-point season to his credit. If those aren't superstars, then the only superstars are McDavid and McKinnon.
That's it. There's only those two.
They're the only two.
Nikita Kucherov doesn't even count.
Right.
Yeah. I just...
Dallas is not a depth team. Dallas is a team with stars that are just as good as the stars that led the Kings to 2 cups and the Blackhawks to 3 cups. They're on that level. No, Jason Robertson and Mira Heiskanen are not generational Ovechkin Crosby types, but they are stars. They are superstars. It's just that the Oilers superstars are, well, McDavid absolutely is, and Draisaitl is on that next tier down. They are unreal, and they played unreal. Also, the low-key reason why Edmonton won that series is because their penalty kill just went into God mode. They can't allow power play goals anymore, apparently. They're just not allowed to.
It seems like defensively, obviously Chris Knobloch, head coach, he's going to get, and geez, every coach in the league is so we're going to get another midseason replacement who wins a cup. Cool. Everyone's on the hot seat. Yeah. That means at all times. But Paul Coffey's getting a ton of credit as well for coaching up the defenseman the way he has. So they did it. So Edmonton, for all their flaws, it's yeah, man, look what they've done since they hired Knobloch. It's kind of crazy the way they've changed their game to suit maybe a little bit more of the playoff style, but at the end of the day, it's look at the 2 leading scorers in the playoffs. Yeah, they have those guys.
They're racking up tons of points. And look, McDavid has not won a cup yet. Maybe he'll win a cup this time. Maybe he won't. But if you have a really good player for 10, 15 years, chances are there's going to be one playoff run where he's just fuck it, we ain't losing. It took a long time for Ovi to do it, but ultimately he did it. You take all those chances and all those shots, and you're in the playoffs every year, and you're always one of the top 5 or 6 teams, you're going to do it at some point. And maybe this is the time when McDavid does it. If you're going with Edmonton, I'm going to go with Florida, because I do think Florida is the better team. I think they are the deeper team. I think they have played better in the playoffs than Edmonton has. I think Edmonton's ceiling is higher. When they are playing their absolute best and when McDavid is in God mode, you just can't beat them. But they've also had 2-3 game stretches where they look like shit, and long stretches of games where they just play poorly. And Florida really hasn't. I can't remember a stretch in this playoff run where Florida has looked bad. Their worst is well, they're just looking okay right now. And then they kick it in another gear and make Tampa look like Washington.
There was the 2 days of the Boston series was is Boston gonna? No. Nah, no, they're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was really like Florida has, and they have the experience. Obviously, they won the East last year. They have dudes who've done it before. This is a very interesting series to me. It's like a team of a depth team versus fucking superstars.
But again, Florida, if I'm going to have to go through this whole other debate, like, again, the idea that, like, when I say Florida has great depth, I mean they have great depth, and they also have, like, Matthew Tkachuk is a superstar. Alexander Barkov is probably also an all-around superstar. Their defense is loaded. Like, this is not a team that, like, I don't want people to get into the mindset of if you don't have a McDavid, you don't have a superstar. It's the same mindset of Flyers fans when they decided that Claude Giroux isn't a star. Like, no, he's a fucking star. Like, Claude Giroux in his prime was one of probably the top 10 best players in hockey. But it was like, well, he's not good enough. Why? Well, because I don't feel like he's good enough.
Yeah.
I just don't get the vibes that he's good enough. Like, no, you're just mad that the Flyers haven't won a cup, and you've decided that because they haven't won a cup, their best player must not be a star.
I did a thing years ago, I can't even remember, where I like assigned a numerical value to each round of the playoffs and looked at players who were finalists for the Selke, Norris, and Hart. And the team, I believe, that gets the furthest on average is the team with the Selke finalists.
Okay.
And like Barkov he's like new Marchand now. He's just going to win it by default unless someone else has a crazy year.
Probably.
Like, that's pretty much what he is.
It seems like he's going to settle into that as long as he keeps playing this well.
Yeah, as long as he maintains this level.
Yeah.
And even then, it takes the league like 2 years to catch, the league's voters like 2 years to catch up.
You're not wrong.
So he'll be like retired.
He'll be in the mix at least.
Yeah. Be like when Mike Schmidt retired and still made the All-Star team. Like, really? You voted for him? He's not around anymore. But this gets us to something I wanted to ask you, Charlie. The touching of the trophies.
Okay.
I want to know what you think, because it's so dumb. And I honestly, Jeff Marek made a great point about it on Twitter. The teams that avoid the trophy have no problem putting the hat on.
They don't put the hats on.
They put the hat on. I thought that was very funny.
Yeah.
I think the whole, like, who actually cares if they touch the trophy? They don't. Like, in the real world, it doesn't matter. We know this. There's no curse. That's nonsense. But
well, don't tell some fans that.
But I think it's a fun thing. Like, it's just a fun thing in hockey. Like, will they or won't they touch the trophy? Where are you with the...
well, Mike Richards touched the trophy,
Wales
and obviously
Campbell,
they Flyers lost.
And
that was the
Lindros
reason.
touched it, right?
I don't remember that.
I think that was a thing.
I know Richards did, and Richards' answer was basically like, fuck it, I don't care. Which, like, respect, bud. Like, love that.
His answer for a lot of things.
Basically. But I think my general view, and I've said this on the show multiple times, is that jinxes aren't real. It's all bullshit. Like, the universe is random and chaotic. It doesn't care that you didn't or did touch a trophy. If I was a player, I would not touch the trophy because I would not feel like dealing with all the bullshit that would result from me touching the trophy. Like, it's more about my personal sanity than it is about me actually believing there's a curse.
Well, no, because then, like, if you're the captain of the team that loses in the final after you touch the trophy, like, it's on you. Like, now it's like, well, he's a bad captain because he celebrated. And I think we should all celebrate more. Like, you should always celebrate great accomplishments. Like, in baseball, oh my God, it was a 3-game series. You're really celebrating a wild card. Like, yes, it is a long fucking season. How many times in life do you get to spray champagne and beer on all your friends? Like, celebrate, have a great time. But in hockey, it's like, you think your job's done? You touched the trophy? How dare you? Like, it is an affront to all that is the sport. It's just, it drives me. I would want to be like Mike Richards. Be like, nah, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't care.
I don't care.
We all silly like the mayor.